Welcome back to Focus Unleashed. It was a good week off. I had initially set it up where I was going to do 4 episodes each month. And so, with March having an extra weekend, I took that week off to kind of give myself a break so I could come back with more energy to really finish up the year on a good note and really high energy. I've learned a lot about myself while doing this podcast, and I've had a whole lot of fun doing it. So I really want to jump back into it after taking that week off and really give more energy. And I'm really, really excited about this episode. It's something that has been on my mind a lot, but I've never really knew how to put it out there as far as content. So really excited about this one, really excited to be back. So I hope you are ready for more Focus Unleashed. So today we're going to talk about something that I know everybody has done, including myself, and that is hold expectations for other people. Most people watch sports with the highest expectations in the world. They expect athletes to show up, to execute, to perform under pressure, to deliver results on demand. But here's the question that flips everything. What if someone watched your life the way that you watch your favorite team? Would they see championship level performance or casual effort disguised as trying? This episode is about performance, not as entertainment, but as identity. So think about that as we get ready to talk about performance. All right, here we go. Performance. We're going to start with the double standard. When we watch sports, we judge everything. Missed plays, bad decisions, lack of effort, poor execution, inconsistency. We expect athletes to be locked in every second. But most people don't hold themselves to even a fraction of that standard. They demand elite performance from others while giving themselves permission to operate at a casual level. That's the double that's the double standard. That's the gap. And that's why this episode matters. Because I was one of those people. I would watch my favorite teams. Baltimore Ravens is my favorite football team. I love Lamar Jackson. Watching him play, I would always criticize his decisions, ask why is he doing this? Why isn't he running? Why isn't he? Why? Holding him to a higher standard. But I never did that with myself. And as I started to build Focused Unleashed, that thought process kind of entered my mind. And it really got me thinking, especially when I look on Facebook and I see a bunch of people criticizing younger athletes and talking about how terrible they are. What if someone walked into your job and did the exact same thing to you? Criticized every decision you made, criticized every thing that you missed. If you didn't do something right, if you weren't working to your highest ability, how would you feel? How would that make you feel? We forget that we don't see behind the scenes of an athlete's life. We don't see their systems, their routines, their discipline, their recovery, their nutrition, their film study, their pressure, their identity work, their daily reps, what they're going through, if they're feeling well, how hard they push. We don't see all that. We only see the performance, the final product. But the performance is just the result of everything they do when no one is watching. And that's the part most people skip in their own lives. We are so critical of athletes to a certain level. Why? Because they get paid more. This is what they do. This is their job, right? But if somebody walked into your job, what you do, what you get paid for, would they be able to criticize you? And that is extremely important when you talk about your own success. Why am I not getting where I want to go? What is holding me back? Are you as critical of yourself and your own performance on a daily basis as you are of the athlete that you're watching, hoping that he helps you win your fantasy league or win that bet that you made or just helps your team win? Because if the roles were reversed and the camera crew was following you for 24 hours, your life is being broadcast. Millions of people are watching, and they expect you to perform. Would they see a disciplined morning routine, consistent habits, strong systems, focused execution, high standards, follow through, preparation, effort, identity driven decisions? Or would they see snoozed alarms, scattered focus, inconsistent effort, excuses, emotional reactions, lack of preparation, no structure, no urgency? If someone watched your life the way you watched your team, would they cheer or would they bench you? And I can honestly say, before I really put Focus Unleashed in motion in my own life, I would have been benched. I posted a really good game. I talked a really good game, but my actions were lacking. And I couldn't understand why I wasn't creating the success that I thought I should create each and every year. This is my year. This year is going to be different. Why am I not creating that success? I didn't hold myself to the same expectation that I may hold Lamar Jackson. He has a job to do. Play football, play quarterback at the highest level. And when I watched him, I expected that of him as a fan. Not only because he's a professional athlete, but because this is what he chose to do. But I wasn't holding myself to that same standard with what I choose to do on a daily basis. So I know for a fact, if I ask myself this very question, which I did as I was building Focus Unleashed, I would be benched. The performance that people saw on a daily basis would not be good. They would be criticizing every step that I made because I wasn't focused. The behind the scenes wasn't good. Although what you saw in my content and through listening to me sounded great, behind the scenes is where things were falling apart. And that's why I wasn't creating success. And I'll say it again, like I've said it in every episode. This year, I have created more success for myself this early in the year more than ever by creating Focus Unleashed as the podcast, but also the system that my life is being led by. And now that I have this system in place, the behind the scenes is where it all begins. My content may be good. What I say may be good. But everything that I'm doing behind the scenes that nobody sees is great, which is allowing me to create more success in my life. Performance is the proof. It's not about perfection. It's about alignment. Performance is the proof of your identity, your systems, your consistency, your preparation, your discipline, your pressure management. Performance is the moment where everything you've built shows up. It's the scoreboard of your habits. And that is where I struggled, but I think you see that a lot in athletes as well. As we judge these athletes, as we expect this great performance every time they step on the field or the court, what we don't understand is their identity throughout the week, through the pressure of the media, through the pressure of their teammates, may have been affected, which will affect their performance. If you don't have the identity that matches the performance, or the consistency that matches the identity and everything that you're building, it affects your preparation, your discipline, and how you manage the pressure. And when that happens, it creates almost an emotional turmoil, because you're trying to perform at the highest level, but at the current moment, based on circumstances that may be beyond your control, your identity doesn't match the level of performance. And that was me. I was trying to perform at a very, very high level, but the identity that I was in didn't match that level of performance. So I could only give as much as I was doing to prepare, as much as I was staying consistent, as much as my systems at the time were allowing me to do. My systems weren't great. So how can I perform at an extremely high level if my systems were not preparing me to do that? So a lot of the times when we are putting that pressure on other people, if we were put under that pressure, would your identity, systems, consistency, preparation, discipline, pressure management match the level of performance that is expected of you if somebody was watching from the outside? That is what separates you from the good version of you to the highly performance driven, high level version of yourself. If you look at where we are this year, we are 90 plus days into 2026. So we've kind of adjusted to everything that's going to go on in the beginning of the year, and it's kind of set us up in our systems and our disciplines to kind of set us up to really take on the bulk of the year and produce at a high level. So it's extremely important that we start to perform this month. By April, the year is no longer new. The hype is gone. The motivation is gone. The resolutions are gone. Now it's about identity, systems, execution, pressure, and performance. This is the moment where you find out if you've been building a foundation or building excuses. Performance is the activation point. I mean, if you look at it, the first 3 months of the year are really the foundation of the year. Yes, you start out very excited about the possibilities. You start out with very excited about this is the year that you're going to make changes. This is the year that you're going to be more successful. This is the year you're going to lose the weight. This is the year. You're all hyped up. You're excited about it because maybe the year 2025 didn't end well. So you're really excited about the possibility of what can happen in 2026. So that's the foundation. But then it gets real, right? The newness wears off. The job picks back up. Summer's coming around. If you've got kids, summer activities are coming. If if you got plans, you got vacations coming up, deadlines are coming in, it gets real. So now it's really, are you going to do what you said you wanted to do when the mood that you set it in is gone? It's no longer New Year's Eve. It's no longer New Year's Day. Made a lot of promises to yourself. Are you going to continue to do that? Or is it going to be like every other year? Things get tough and we're not going to perform at the highest level. And we're not going to hold ourselves to that standard that we would hold everyone else to. I can honestly say in years past, this is probably the point where things would start to fall apart. I'd be second guessing myself. I would be asking myself, can I do it? Is it worth it? I'm stressed out. This is too much. Can I continue on at this pace? This year, it's all about performance. The preparation, the foundation was built for the first 3 months. I'm in it now. I'm in it to win it. Coming back after a week off, usually that would be like, oh, I don't really want to do this. I was ready. I'm excited. Let's go. This is the second half of the year. Well, not even the second half. We're just through the first quarter. So this is the second quarter of the year. Just like a game. First quarter, kind of filling it out. Second quarter, it's time to get with it. Time to show what it's all about. So performance is important, especially this month. Do not let what you've built in January, February, and March start to fall apart because things are getting tougher, because things are not going the way that you want them to. It's all about the performance. Every time you show up, you have prepared yourself in January, February, and March to perform at a high level. That is the expectation. Hold yourself to that same standard. And it's not easy. But if you think about it as if someone was watching, how would you perform? Here's how to elevate your performance. Build systems that support execution. Athletes do not rely on motivation. They rely on structure. Excuse me. Prepare before the moment. Performance rewards preparation. We have been setting up January, February, March, the foundation to improve in performance each month. We have that preparation standard. Continue it. Doesn't matter if things are getting a little tougher. We know that's pressure just asking us if we want it bad enough. We do. So we're going to prepare every single month to be better the next month. Treat your life like a game film. Review your habits. Review your decisions. Review your efforts. This is the time where you're going to question a lot of things. I know I've been questioning a lot of things in the past week, and I really answered a lot of my own questions by just writing the question down. I used to give myself a pass a lot, by just saying that I was trying. Trying is good in the beginning, but at some point you have to do. So I had to ask myself, am I doing enough to reach my goals by the end of 2026? And there were some things that I had to come to terms with. I was getting a little lazy. I was getting a little unorganized, and I was starting to let things slide just a little bit too much. For example, my workouts. I work out 4 days a week, which gives me 3 days to play with. So if there's a day that's a little bit too tough with work, I can always shift it to another day. I was getting a little bit too comfortable saying, I'll just do it tomorrow. So I had to check that. I had to check that with everything that I was trying to accomplish. Do not let things slide. So really reviewing your habits, review your decisions, review your effort, that really helps you hold yourself accountable and hold you to the standard that you need to perform at a very high level. Raise your standards. Stop expecting from others what you do not demand from yourself. I think that is extremely important. And I didn't realize how important that was until I started building Focused Unleashed. And I asked that question to myself. Why do I hold Lamar Jackson at such a high standard when I don't hold myself to that same kind of standard? And once I started holding myself to that standard, things just started to change. It just clicked. I do not procrastinate as much. There are still days, but I do not procrastinate as much. Even when I tell myself, I'm not going to do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. Focus Unleashed clicks in. Gosh dang it, Focus Unleashed, you got me. I got to do it. I'm up when I do it. That's how you get better. That's how you perform at a high level every single day. You have to hold yourself to the same standard as you would somebody else. Perform in the small moments. Champions aren't made in big games. They're revealed in big games. They are made in the daily reps. Remember to use every day as an opportunity to stack wins. Perform daily. Everything that you promise yourself that you're going to do it. Once you commit to doing the things that you promise yourself to do, you win in the small moments, which help you then gain ground for the bigger performances. If you let things slide on a daily basis, you will only perform at the level that you consistently perform at. I've told my athletes this, and I still don't think they get it. You cannot hate to practice and practice at such a low level and think that you will perform at a high level when it's game time. You will only perform at the level that you consistently perform at, and that's it. Even when you think you're operating at a high level, what other people will see is the best performance that you can give, because that's at the performance level you consistently operate in. So when you start to build that performance, you increase the identity to the identity of a performer, right? A performer doesn't wait for the moment. A performer prepares for the moment. A performer doesn't hype. A performer executes. A performer doesn't need an audience. A performer has standards. Performance isn't an event. It's an identity. We want to create success. Our success is different from our athlete's success. Our success could be getting a promotion, earning more money, building a business, creating the best body that you've ever had as far as health. Those things that we try to achieve changes the identity from the person that you were to the person that you want to be. To do that, you have to perform. So the identity has to become somewhat of an elite performer. You don't wait. You do. You don't wait for somebody to pump you up. You don't have to pump yourself up. You just execute. You don't need people watching. You don't need to post it. You perform to your standards every single day. It's not an event. It's part of your identity. Now that I have embraced the standards that have created the high performance level that I'm at, things have just felt different. Like, I am super confident. I know exactly what I'm doing on a daily basis. I know how I'm going to achieve my goals. There is no more guessing. I'm stacking wins. And every month, my performance hits a new level. It's almost like a game. You play a game for so long, then you go to the next level. That's exactly where I'm at. So when we think about performance and the expectation we have on others, turn that expectation inward to create higher standards for yourself and perform at a very high level so that you can reach your goals. So this month, I want to initiate a challenge. The challenge is, if someone watched your life the way you watch your favorite team, would they say you are a high performer? Or would they say they see someone who expects excellence from others but accepts average from themselves? Ask yourself that question every single day for the rest of this month. That question can be on a piece of paper, a Post-it note. For the rest of this month, date it, and I want you to say, yes, they would see a high performer, or no, they see somebody who accepts average for themselves. The more yeses you have, you are a high performer. If you write down no, that's honesty, which is good, and you know now that you need to expect more from yourself. So this is a win-win. Either you are finding yourself at the level at which you hold others to, or you're identifying the fact that you don't and that you need to start. So it's a win-win. This is the moment to close the gap. You've built the identity. You've built the systems. You've learned to handle pressure. Now it's just time to perform. I can honestly say I'm performing at a very, very high level. When I look at the podcast, when I look at my personal goals, when I look at my business goals, when I look at future goals that will be based on accomplishing the goals that I've set for the first part of this year, I am on track to supersede everything that I want to accomplish. I'm performing at an extremely high level on a daily basis. And I'm very, very excited about that. I feel really good about that. And it feels good to know that everything that I've built so far with Focus Unleashed as a system is paying off. Because I did have my doubts in the beginning. But consistency, discipline, putting in the work, adjusting, all that has led me to this month being super, super successful and looking to further that success. So, extremely excited about that. I hope you are in the same boat. If you're not, this episode is just what you're looking for. It's a way to identify the issue of performance. So as we close today, are you performing at the highest level, or do you need to upgrade your standards so that you can perform at a high level? Let's think about that. And as always, stay focused and be ready to unleash it.